So welcome again, Realty Pros. As we said, today we're going over our business planning for 2021. So this will begin the first of a 4-week process. And some of that time is going to be you on your own over the holidays, reflecting on what your goals are for 2021. But today we're just going to start kind of taking a recap of a year in review. And there are various processes or various portions of this business plan that we'll go through. So I'll go back to the beginning so that you can see everything that's included. All right, so this is our 2021 business plan. And in our 2021 business plan, of course, we talk about our commitment to it. And one of the things that we learned in 2020 is we can make a plan, but for the vast majority of us, the reason that you stick to that business plan is going to be your why. So we focus very heavily on your why because as you can see here, goals, 95% of your success is the reason why you're doing it. So the reason why is what we're going to help to kind of illuminate. And that's something that we want you guys to think about over your holiday. So as you're away for Christmas, as you're away for New Year's, these are the things that you want to think about so that when you're actually going through the exercise that I'm going to highlight today, you have a solid plan that even if we have to adapt to whatever it is that our new space is going to be like in 2021, at least you're kind of concrete in your goals. Even if you're flexible in your plan, your goals are concrete, okay? So we see here a plan. So without a plan of action, you have no direction, no sense of accomplishment. So to successfully drive from one point to another, you need direction. And you refer to these directions consistently to reach your destination. To achieve success in real estate, you need a map to provide you with a sense of direction. And you can follow this map and track your success along the way. So that's the purpose of this whole business plan here. Skill is what we're going to be developing in our Thursday night trainings. So again, that's going to be Thursday night at 7 here in the office and virtually. So it will be a hybrid. We will be available for additional trainings for any topic that you guys need as well. But as much as possible, we want you guys to take advantage of the group setting. So whether it's virtual or in office, so that you guys can glean from each other also. Okay, so this wheel of life, this is something that we do every year because we aren't just flat characters. We're three-dimensional characters. We have various parts of ourselves. So real estate is extremely important because this is your profession. And I'm going to go back before I go to that. I want to talk about what the why means because I don't want to just breeze over that. That's very important. So your why. Before I share with you guys, can anybody tell me what your why means? And I know that there's some of us that are on this training who've gone through this before.
I guess I would say that your why is what drives you every day. What's going to make you try to achieve your goals. I guess what's that fire burning inside of you to get up every day and stick to the plan?
That's exactly what your why is. So for a lot of us, our why could be our children. It could be our grandchildren. It could be our goals for retirement, our future, a legacy that we want to leave for our family. But whatever it is, if your why is big enough, then the how becomes easy. So whatever that thing is that's gripping in your heart that says to you, you have to do this. Failure is not an option. You're going to do whatever it takes in order to be successful in this because this is what you've committed to doing and in a non-superficial way. Okay? Does anybody want to share what their why is?
My why is to outperform my wife.
I'm going to call her and let her know that, Curtis.
She knows.
Anybody else? Okay. So let's think about it. And for those of you, even if you don't want to share at the moment, you know what your why is. You know why it is that you get up and do what it is that you do every day. Most of us got into real estate for very many reasons. Of course, one is that there is unlimited income and flexibility and you get to start your own business. But for most of us, there's more. There's much more to it than that. There's oftentimes legacy behind that, something that you want to leave for your children, your grandchildren, nieces and nephews, something that you want to instill in them, a lifestyle that you aspire to. So whatever that is, that's what you want to think about, okay? And remember this, very important. We read it before, and I'll say it again before we move on. 95% of your success is the reason why you're doing it, okay? The other 5% is how you do it, and we can teach you how, but you guys got to bring the why to the table, all right? So then we're going to go through this wheel of life and the visualization exercise. In the visualization exercise, you're going to take 30 to 45 minutes, and you're just going to envision what you'd like to be doing within the next 5 years, or where you see your lives in the next 5 years. And then you're going to scale that back and then say, okay, well, what do I need to accomplish in this year? And that's going to be for 2021, although it's 2020 now. What do I need to accomplish in order to be on par to reach my goals for the next 5 years? Okay. And in doing so, we've got to consider every area of our lives, because we are round in terms of having not just work, not just, play, but there are many elements to our lives. So it's your physical, your spiritual, mental, family, financial, business, social, fun, and contribution. Because each of us, in order for us to give everything that we need to give to real estate, you need to make sure that you're healthy in these other areas as well. Because if you're not healthy in those areas, then it can tend to kind of spill over in other areas and take from it. So as you go through this wheel of life, really take an inventory of where you are today. And then as you look into 2021, we're going to talk about what things you need to do in order to improve in those areas, because we're going to be leveling up in 2021, and that's for all of us. Okay. And this is where you're going to just write down where you want to be in the next 5 years. Okay. For each one of those areas. Now, here is where you're actually going to take a recap of your 2020 production, because even if for some of us that have done well, every single person here can do better. Every single person here can do more, and we want to push you guys to the next level. We believe that every person here can double or triple what it is that they've been doing. So we just need to get to the point where, we got to hit the ground running in 2021. So that's just the end of that. So go through this production recap, take an assessment of the days worked and prospecting. If it looks odd, it's okay, because it's going to look very odd for all of us because we're in the midst of the pandemic. But take a realistic snapshot of what your productivity was in 2020 in all of these areas with regards to listing appointments taken, listings expired, canceled, sold, price reductions, income. Take a real assessment of those things, okay? Then take assessment of the contacts you made per hour. And we're going to go over on the next page why all of this is so important, including the hours prospected to an appointment, the hours prospected to a listing taken, the hours prospected to a listing sold, and so forth and so on, okay? This business plan is literally going to walk you through everything that you need to know and everything that you need to do to be very productive as an agent. And you'll be very happy with yourself and your real estate career if you follow it. All right. So then you're going to set those goals for 2021. And now we're going to skip past this page for now. Well, I'll touch on it. So this is what your goal is going to be. For 2021, you're going to write down what your goal is for the number of days worked, the number of days prospect, the number of contacts, listing appointments taken, what your goals in these various areas, because you're going to need to put those down, okay?
Hey, Jazz, your audio just went out.
Is my audio going out? Thank you for that. How about now?
There you go.
Is that better? Okay, good.
Yes.
So in making it easy, this is where the rubber meets the road, because we're going to break down those numbers as you hear us going through the pages of the business plan. You might say, well, how will I know how many days to prospect, or how many contacts I need, or what I need to do in order to get those numbers that my goal is to obtain? Well, this is how you get those things. Okay. So let's go through this, and we're going to spend the bulk of our time today talking about this page and asking and answering questions, so that when we walk away today, everybody has clarity on exactly how you're going to meet your goals for 2021. Now, when you begin doing this business plan on your own, you're going to begin with the end in mind. So as you can see here, we have a number, and that's $100,000 in earnings, which would be the goal. Now, your goal could be $250,000. Your goal could be $300,000. It could be, you know, whatever it is. We want you to set that goal as a big, scary goal, as Mr. Porter would say. He calls it a big, hairy, scary goal. So you want to make sure that you set that benchmark high, okay? Because if you set it low, then you're going to aspire to something low and accomplish a whole lot less than you could. Set it high for yourself, all right? So here we are. The following are statistics formed based on tracking agents. If we look at the example, the average sales price being $300,000 in the Prince George's County market. If you're in a different market, then your average sales price is going to be higher. In DC, it's higher. In Montgomery County, it's higher. In various places, this average sales price is going to fluctuate. But if you looked at just a 3% commission as a buyer's agent, and that's one side only, then on that $300,000 sales price, that's a $900,000 commission. And if you're a new agent and you have an 80% split, then that's approximately $7,200. So for every house that you're selling at that average price, that's $7,200. So now we're going to take that and we're going to say, okay, well, if my goal is to make $100,000 in 2021, how many transactions do I need to do? Well, we simply do the math. We say it's $7,200 per transaction. You need 14 transactions in order to reach 100K in sales. Okay. Now, what our goal is to have more listings than buyers, although we'll work with both. Since taking more listings is the recipe for success in real estate, then the ratio should be 60-40. Can anybody tell me why you want to take more listings, or why listings would be a recipe for success? All right, if you're shy,
Well,
go ahead.
well, no, because you can leverage the listing to get more clients. You know, to get possible buyers. If someone shows up to a open house, or it's a way to also market yourself in that particular community, that area, letting everybody know that you have a home on the market. So again, branding and kind of market positioning. So listings are key, because you can leverage them to help grow your business.
It gives you more control.
I read something that it said that it gives you at least one qualified buyer, or it should give you one qualified closed lead, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I guess if you have a listing, I'm in the first beginning parts of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. And I just remember them talking about how listings, even though the money is the same, that, listings, like you all said, it gives you better control, and that it should give you enough leads to find one closed, I would assume, buyer in the future.
Can I answer the question too, Jasmine? We lost your audio again.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Of course. Go ahead.
I was gonna say also, guys, it definitely increases your opportunity to market. You have a yard sign, and hopefully you guys purchase your rider, so you get your rider out there, your face, your image, your name. You putting it on the MLS. Now your face, image, and name is on the MLS. You can put it on your Facebook, Instagram, all your social media accounts. You can run You can boost ads. So it basically puts you out there and puts you as front and center so people see your face, your name, your image, and know that you're doing real estate. And then that's going to also help increase your income. I mean your number of clients that you have.
All of those are on point. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to add? Well, that was very well put by each of you. Thank you for participating, because that's exactly why you want to have more listings than buyers. Because to sum it all up, listings mean more listings and buyers, okay? So that ratio, you want to have a 60-40 ratio. And like Mr. Porter said, if you have not gotten your writers as of yet, order your writers, because once that yard sign goes out there and the buyers drive past and they see your name, your telephone number on that writer, you're going to get buyer leads. You're going to have buyers who call you left and right who don't even have an agent. Some of them will have an agent, and you need to verify that, but many of them will call just because they're writing tests and they're interested in purchasing in that market. So you get qualified buyer leads and other listings if you market them correctly, okay? I hope we've, drove that point home, okay? So next we're going to talk about the ratio. 2-to-1 ratio means that for every 2 listings that you take, one of them will sell. So essentially, we're looking at numbers from NAR, and we know that our goal is going to be 60-40. So if we need a total of 14 transactions and 60% of those need to be listings, then that means that we need to have 9 listings sold for 2021 in order to meet that mark, and 5 buyers sold in 2021 in order to meet that mark. Now, you know how it is if you're working with the buyer or you're working with the seller. Sometimes they may change their mind, they may withdraw it from the market, or they want to, do something different. And those are things that we can't control. So because NAR has taken that into consideration, they've derived a 2-to-1 ratio. That means for every 2 listings that you take, at least one of them will sell. And I don't believe in that ratio. It's on our numbers because those are from National Association of Realtors, but I don't believe in that because your ratios can be much higher than that. So you don't have to consider that 50% of your listings are going to sell and the other 50 won't, not at all. So just count that as a baseline, and everything that you get above that will be icing on the cake, okay? So therefore, in order to sell 9 listings, you need to take 18 listings. Now, hopefully with 18, you can sell a whole lot more than 9. But if you take 18, I think you are well on your way, okay? So, and there's another 2-to-1 ratio, which means that for every 2 listing appointments that you go on, you should get one of those clients to list with you. And these numbers are from NAR as well. So therefore, to take 18 listings, you'll need to go on 36 listing appointments, okay? 36 listing appointments will get you at least 18 listings, which will get you at least 9 sold listings at the end of 2021. So now let's talk about how we're going to generate leads for those listing appointments. Well, how would you do that? Can anybody tell me what your thoughts are? And the notes are in front of us, but I want to hear from you. How are you going to generate leads to get 36 listing appointments? What do you have to do?
Get referrals.
Yes. What else?
Start
Close.
marketing to your sphere of influence via email, social media, letting people know that you're a realtor.
Yes.
Cold call, door knocks,
Mm-hmm.
mail
Be
outs, mailers.
be consistent with whichever
Yes.
program you decide to use, whichever system, just be consistent. So if you decide that you're going to do cold calling every day, then be on the phone for an hour or 2 every day. And set your time and make sure that you do that. What I keep hearing is it's a numbers game. So you just need to be persistent, be committed, and do it. If you're door knocking 3 days a week or every day, choose different times during the day, or choose the same time during the day, but be consistent. Um, as you're staying consistent, you'll see that things will start to snowball.
All of those are great answers. Does anybody have anything else? All right. Well, if not, to wrap all of that up into a nutshell and put a pretty bow on it, you need to generate leads. So that's essentially what all of you have said. On a daily basis, you need to be generating leads. Okay. Now, we also have this other ratio, the 5-to-1 ratio, which means that for every 5 leads that you generate, you'll get an appointment. So the name of the game, so with all of the different avenues that you guys have quoted, so from sending out emails to cold calling to doing whatever it is you need to do, for every 5 leads that you generate, you should get at least 1 appointment. Okay? So therefore, remember, our goal is to book 36 listing appointments. So in order to get 36 appointments, you're going to need to generate 180 leads. Now, you have a whole year to generate 180 leads. What do we need to do in order to get 180 leads? I want somebody to sum it up. It's the simplest thing that you can imagine, and I'll give you a hint. It's right here. Talk to people. So for every 12 people that you contact on a day, you'll get 1 lead. So these can be people that you pass your business card out to, you airdrop a business card to, you call on the phone, you send a text message, you reach out to them by email. For every 12 contacts that you make on a daily basis, you should get 1 lead. Okay? So in order to generate 180 leads, you need 2,160 contacts. Now that's on a yearly basis. So in order to get 2,160 in terms of your contacts, how do we break that down? Well, one of the things that we do, because we started out with our wheel of life, knowing that although real estate is tremendously important because it's going to set us up for our dreams, there are other parts of our lives that are important also. So we begin our year with planning out 4 weeks of vacation, 1 for each quarter, so that you have a realistic plan that's not going to leave you burnt out at the end of the year. All right? So that's going to leave 11 months left for work and business. So since you might only want to work 20 days a month, that leaves you 220 working days for that 11 months. That's 11 months times 20 days. So when you divide that 2,160 or 2,160 contacts that you need by 220 working days, then that equals 10 contacts per day that you need. So to sum all of this up, you need 10 contacts per day. Add it to your book of business, to your constant contact account, 10 contacts per day. All right? Now, at an average of 8 contacts per hour, that means that equates to only 1 to 1.5 or an hour to an hour and a half of prospecting every day in order for you to earn your $100,000 in real estate in 2021. What do you guys think about that breakdown?
It's pretty easy to do if we just stick to it.
There you go. And 2021 is the year to just do it. We're leveling up in 2021, guys. So you see how we started out taking those 4 weeks of vacation. That way you're already planning for your family time, your relaxation, so that you're not distracted when you're working. You can work and focus on real estate in the time that you've allotted, because of 365 days in a year, you've chosen that you're going to work 220 of those. Okay? So on those 220 days, you need to be committed to what it is that you're doing so that you get your 10 contacts per day. And we'll go through the various marketing avenues. So whether that's, your contacts that you make from door knocking or from, going through different strategies like Remind or cold calling or reaching out, calling your sphere of influence. We'll talk about all of those things, but you need to make contact with 10 people per day for 220 days and that will lead you to a six-figure income. Do you guys think that that's doable?
Yes.
That's only an hour to an hour and a half of daily prospecting. And I want to point that out because I know that we have both dual career and full-time agents, but when we really break all of this down to the most finite point, this commitment is an hour to an hour and a half daily, which is what's going to net you that 100K. So an hour to an hour and a half daily. I know that for some of us, we can spend that time looking at our favorite TV show. You know what I mean? So that level of commitment is going to net you what it is that you desire to be making in real estate. And if you're full-time, and I would encourage you to make your goals more aggressive than that. If you're full-time, I would love you to make your goals much more aggressive than that. You could do 3 hours of prospecting per day, because knowing that if you do that 3 hours of prospecting per day, your income is just going to go up because you're going to make more contacts. All right. Does anybody have any questions, anything that they'd like to say as it pertains to this?
Yeah, Jasmine, I wanted to say,
I want to hear what you guys think.
I wanted to
ahead.
say that one of the things that I want to encourage everyone to do, and I say it all the time, is to go to the most organic method. I mean, it's all great to go on social media to try to get leads and all that good stuff, and cold calling and door knocking. All of those things are wonderful, but the hot leads, the thing that you have and that is nearest and dearest to you, is the people who are already in your phone. And if those people aren't getting consistent contacts from you, you're not using constant contact to set up a consistent campaign to constantly remind them to say, Merry Christmas, Happy Thanksgiving, I'm in real estate. Merry Christmas, I'm in real estate. Happy New Year, I'm in real estate. If you're not constantly sending that message to keep on the forefront of their mind that you're in real estate, you're doing yourself a disservice. The second thing then is to set up a daily conference where, like I said this many times before over the years, I really enjoy calling the people in my sphere of influence. Many of them I haven't talked to in a very long time, and it's good to be able to at least contact a person once a year just to check with them, see how they doing. And oh, by the way, I do real estate. Do you know anybody who might be interested in buying or selling a home? Actually, I want to buy or sell my home this year, Porter. Well, great. I can help you do that. So, or my sister or my cousin. And so what happens is you build that sphere of influence, and then they give you contacts, and that builds a new network, and you do good business with those people, and they refer you. And then eventually one day you're going to be laying on the couch. Curtis, what's going to happen when you land on the couch after you built this organic network? What's going to happen?
Yes, I was laying on the couch watching CNN, and I randomly got a call from a client that I helped about 2 years ago, and we're under contract right now for my first $1 million purchase. The crazy thing is he was already pre-approved. He knew the house. He already went to the house. Literally all I had to do was draft up the contract. And now I'm sitting here waiting on January 11th. But I was literally laying on the couch.
Congratulations, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And I actually have another under contract, and the business card. Porterhouse, they're gonna, they give us, I don't know how many, 2,000. It's a big box of cards. So our goal should be to empty the box. So I know, Jasmine, I mentioned the young guy. This was a few months ago. I overheard him talking about, he's a musician, this up and coming rapper, right? So I got up, we were at a restaurant, and just introduced myself on my way out, gave him my card. We're under contract for his first house. I just gave him the card, kept in touch, just every now and then followed up with him, nothing crazy. And he was ready, got him pre-approved with Michael Cooper, and we're under contract for his first house. So the cards too, you get them. My goal is to empty the box. I'm almost there, but my first box needs to be empty within the next few months. So, hand them cards out.
And the goal, if you do the calculations, we give you 2,500 business cards. if you give out, Jasmine say you need 10 contacts a day. I mean, it's hard to be out and about, but if you happen to be out and about, I mean, if you give out 7 business cards a day, that box will be empty in 1 year. And so I constantly say the same things over and over because the organic method, the people who are really doing well in real estate, they have what's called a referral based business. They're not really hitting the social medias and all of those things before. They've done it for years and now it's starting to pay off because you're going to constantly get referrals. Because once people know you're a realtor or you've done good business with them, the natural thing for them to do is to refer somebody to you. And so Curtis, Curtis, and I'm always, I'm proud of Curtis. Curtis started with us. He got his license right when we opened up the brokerage. Curtis comes to seems like every training that we've had. And not only that, Curtis does what I was told to do when I got into real estate. Do what Jasmine tells you to do. And I really didn't need anybody to tell me that, but I was glad that the broker that we were with did say that to me, and I did exactly what he did. I told the same thing to Curtis. I'm telling the same thing to you guys. If you do this stuff, it will work. It will work.
Absolutely.
And then before you know it, it'll start working on its own, but you have to pump it up. You have to prime it. You cannot be a secret agent. You cannot sit back and just look at your phone and think something's going to happen. It's not. You have to go out for hours and hours at a time to let everybody in the world know, like, you're the proudest, most excited real estate agent in the world. You need to build your social media screaming every day. I mean, I've seen people on Facebook taking pictures of themselves, modeling in front of stuff, but they don't say anything about their real estate business. And then it dries up. But you guys take advantage of it. You taking pictures of your family and all of that good stuff. Like, oh, by the way, I do real estate. I don't care how you throw it in there. Just let people know that you're a licensed realtor and you're ready to buy, sell, or help them invest. That's all I want to say.
Those are some great pointers, and I want to piggyback on something that I heard from both Shay and Curtis. For all of you here, I want for everybody to know, if you use nothing more than your business cards, your constant contact account, and your cell phone, you can make 6-figure income in real estate sweatlessly by doing what it is that we're telling you to do, because constant contact is what's going to automate your business. So that's your book of business. That's where you're going to add all of your contacts and send out those email campaigns so that your people are getting those 33 touches, meaning they're receiving an email from you at least 33 times a year. And you can switch that up with a phone call, like Mr. Porter said, a text message. Just follow up with people. Of course, we'll talk about various timelines for people who are ready to buy now versus 3 months, 6 months, a year down the line. We'll talk about all of that. But literally with those 3 tools, your business cards, constant contact, and your cell phone, if you do the things that we are teaching you to do, it will definitely pay off for you. And I'll say this, that Mr. Porter mentioned that the former brokers that we were at, most of the tools that you guys have, we didn't have the tools that you have, and we earned well over 6 figures. And that was just with organic, just referral-based lead generation coming from our sphere of influence. Because the people that you know in your sphere of influence, when they give you a lead, it's not going to be a cold lead like you would get when you're cold calling. It's a warm lead. You know what I mean? NAR says that when we send out mailings and all those types of things, we're going to get a 2 to 6% return in terms of people calling. For every 100 that you send out, you should get at least 2 calls, between 2 and 6%, depending on what you get. But if somebody refers a person to you, it's a 50% chance that that person is going to work with you. So definitely go after your sphere of influence. Go after the people that already know you. They already like you. They trust you. So those are the people that will help you to build a referral-based business. And if you just focus on those relationships and being good to those people and sending them, whether it's a thank you card, a thank you gift, or throwing something where you can show your appreciation to people who've given you referrals in the past or can give you referrals now, those are the types of things that help you to generate leads naturally and build a referral-based business.
And one other thing I just want to say, guys, because I think I say it often, but I don't know if I say it often enough, because We got a lot of people that's just joining Porterhouse, so I want to make sure I reiterate the same things over. The if anyone says that they want to buy a house, I don't care if they say I want to buy a house, I want to buy it next year, I want to work on my credit. You let them say all of what they want to say, but remember, you're a salesperson, and your job is to get them over to your lender immediately. So they can say, I want to buy next year, I'm not ready right now. Well, hey, let me get you over to my lender right now. That way we'll know where we are and what you need to do so that you'll be in position next year. Well, I want to, I don't know what I need to do. Let me get you over to my lender. The only answer for anyone who says they're ready to buy a house is let me get you over to my lender. That's the first and best go to. Get their information. So I don't care if you're in the supermarket. I don't care if you just met this person coming out of the cleaners. Say, oh, that's great. Let me get your information. I'm gonna send you over to my lender. His name is Michael Cooper. He's gonna give you a call, but I'm gonna send you his information. If you don't hear from him, call him, tell him you met me and you're ready to buy a house. And you just build that contact. The first thing you do with any buyer, you don't have to do a whole lot. You get their information in your phone. That way you can continue to send them mailers. You can reach out to them. You can follow up with them. But most importantly, right before you leave the Safeway, before you leave the cleaners, you sending their information over to Mike Cooper. Say, Mr. Cooper, I got a lead. This person is ready to buy. They say they make XYZ amount of money. They're thinking about next year, but I think we can get them pre-approved now. They'll be ready to rock and roll. That's your only go-to line. Let me get you over to my lender.
And real quick too, Shay, that's also, and I know you guys have said this too, people that are renting, I want to rent. Okay. I just had a referral a few days ago from my brother. Family wants to rent a home in Silver Spring. So I spoke to the daughter. They're not, they're having issues getting financing, but they would rather, purchase. So I'm like, great. Let me get you in touch with Michael Cooper. I already got them talking. So if he can work with them by March, April is when they're looking to rent a new property. I'll help them rent a new house. If not, hopefully he'll get them squared away. And I can help them buy their home, which is what they really would like to do. But it takes the pressure too off of us as agents. And, it kind of puts it on, Mike in a way where, hey, let's get you over here, and see if you can get how much money you can get pre-approved for. The other thing that I like to do when I talk with folks, I'll set them up a property search in the MLS. I mean, why not? Like, we have it, we pay for it, set them up a search. What that does is every morning from whatever area, the dollar amount, they're going to get an email for new listings that come onto the market, whether they're ready to buy next month or they're ready to buy next year. That's also a nice way that you just stay in their inbox. You just stay on their mind, and then now, they send you a text like, hey, I think I'm really ready now. Great. Let's get you pre-approved. So, setting up a search for somebody too is also a really inconvenient way. I mean, it takes 5 minutes to set up a property search for somebody. And then the nice thing too is when you log into you log into the matrix, I see everybody, 7 a.m. So-and-so was looking at the email. 8 a.m. So-and-so was looking at, their property, So you see too that, wow, these 5 people are really engaged. Let me send them a text. Let me reach out to them, or just let them marinate because they really aren't looking to buy until June. But you see they're engaged. You see they're, that's also really, we pay for it anyway. We got the access to the matrix. Set up a property search for somebody.
And Curtis is absolutely right, guys. You heard Curtis mention earlier leverage, and you heard Jasmine talk about 2,000 people. Now, I don't know how you all can reach out to 2,000 people, but one of the most important things is to use the tools that we have to leverage your communication with these people. And Curtis, that's an excellent way to leverage your communication with people. Setting up a search form, or for me, is always to put them in my constant contact campaign. That way I'm sending them information, it's asking them a question. You still thinking about buying? Last month, Or you still thinking about selling? Last month, people were selling their homes for 10,000 over asking price. What are you waiting for? You know, all of these type of things, you sending out constant information, but you have to do that work. You have to push some buttons. Guys, all you're doing is sitting down and typing. If you're setting up a search, you're typing. If you, you know, you're doing the constant contact, you're sitting up there designing something that speaks to the people that you want to send it to, and you push send, and it do it automatically. It's real simple. You just have to do it. That's the hard work you have to do. You have to push some buttons to make some money. And you have to not be afraid to talk to people to make some money. And if you're standing in the line and you want a social distance and you see people, if you have an iPhone and you see people with their phones open, you can airdrop them your business card. Happy holidays. I sell real estate. I mean, I'm corny, and it really gets people because that's, you know, that's kind of organic, and they're like looking around. I'm like, it's me, you know, and you start the conversations. But that's the only way that you're going to get in people's mind is to get out of your own mind and make sure that you're always sending out the vibes. I do real estate. I do real estate. I do real estate. And I was educated for 20 years, so it was hard for people to transition in their mind that I was only doing real estate. So you guys have to push it out and push it out. And then, like I said, one day you listen to what we're telling you to do. You're going to be laying on your couch, like we told Curtis 3 years ago. You're going to be laying on your couch, and bam, it's going to hit you. I can do this. And Curtis, I'm really excited for you, and I can't wait for you to close this deal so you can get that commission. We
Me
love
too.
cutting commission checks.
Me too.
And we hope the same thing for every one of you, especially in 2021. Again, I'm going to say it, we're leveling up in 2021. I wanted to just make a quick pointer and thank you guys for the contribution. That was excellent. So as it pertains to leads versus contacts, this is something that you need to be aware of. You're going to contact 10 people per day. A contact and a lead are different in that a contact is simply somebody that you reach out to. A lead is somebody who actually expresses interest in purchasing, selling, or leasing real estate. Purchasing, listing, or leasing real estate. So that's the difference in a lead versus a contact. And the information that you need to secure, of course, is going to be their first and last name, but also their email address and their cell phone number. Okay?
Or investing.
And just like Mr. Porter said, or investing. There you go. So
Love
like
our
Mr.
investors.
Porter said, that's right. If you're airdropping them your business card, or if you simply text them your virtual business card, then that's a way that you've gotten their cell phone numbers just like that easily. But get their full name, their email address, and their telephone number, and you have a solid contact that you can add to your marketing campaigns, okay? And when you do, just let them know, hey, I'll keep you abreast of what's going on in your real estate market. Do you want to be the first to know about changes in your real estate market? Most people love information on real estate. So people are going to be very happy to receive information, but just utilize the tools that we've given you guys because you truly have a recipe for success. It's just going to be you doing what it is that you're learning how to do, okay? And let me go to the chat so that I can make sure we're not missing anybody. I see. So Paul is asking about airdropping. If you guys have an iPhone, then you have the option to airdrop either a picture, a document, anything from one phone to the other. And that's on iPhones. If you don't have an iPhone, you can simply text it. So you simply text a copy of your virtual business card that would have been sent to those of you who everybody has their business cards with the exception of our brand new agents. You would have had a virtual copy of it sent to you. So just text that to people or airdrop it depending on the type of phone you have. Does anybody have any additional questions?
Yes, Jasmine, I had asked at the beginning, when will we revisit Remind next? Because that was one of the strategies that I was using for contacting folks. And every time I go there, I'm like, what was it I was supposed to do?
No worries. I'll make it easy for you. I'm going to send you the video from our last Remind training, and we're going to put out the schedule so you'll know exactly when we're going to go back through that series, okay?
Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Does anybody have any other questions or anything that they'd like to add to this discussion before we close out today? If not, you guys have been wonderful. We're coming up on 1:30. I do want to honor your time. So thank you all for availing yourselves to get this information today. This updated version of your agent business plan will be uploaded into Brokerment, so you'll have access to it as of today. So go to your Brokerment account and download that so that you can read through everything that we've covered today, and you can just meditate on it and just reflect. And the next time we talk, we want to hear what your guys' whys are and then what those business plan goals are. So we'll walk through this step by step, but you have some homework to do, okay? So with that being said, do you have anything that you'd like to say to close out, Mr. Porter?
Why are we closing out? I mean, I was ready. I thought, I was enjoying it.
Well, me too, but I definitely want to honor everybody's time. It's 1:30. Do you guys want to continue, or do people have to go? I know the commitment is for 1 hour, and I want to honor your time.
I'm in the middle of my work day, so I kind of have to go because this is lunchtime for me.
Okay, perfect. So you know what? This is what we'll do. For everybody that needs to go, we'll go ahead and let you guys go. And for anybody that wants to stay, we'll continue the conversation. So I'll go ahead and stop our recording now. And great job today, guys. If you think of anything that you need as a follow-up to today's training, just give me a call or send me a text and let me know. All right?